How do you intend to be great when you have no respect for greatness? Is a question that I asked myself a long time ago, and it changed my life for the better because back then I was struggling to be a better person, in general, that is. And I believe that deep down we all have a version of who we want to be, our own version of greatness. And we are all in our own journeys to be that version that we so deeply desire to be, right? But I feel like there's one thing that we often forget, that in life there's nothing more noble, no trait more special, nothing more greater than to have humility. Humility is when you think of yourself as a down to earth person, nothing special, nothing extra going on for them. You're just you. You're not better than anyone else as a human being, which is obviously what most people think they think of themselves, but when you look deeper, it gets a bit messy. So let's talk about it. You see, when you're like trying to do something or accomplish something, a lot of times you may win in life, sometimes you'd lose in life. And chances are, if you win, right, there's gonna be losers. And if you lose, there's gonna be a winners. So when you win, you might say that, hey, I put in a lot of hard work in there to win this or achieve this. But if you lose, the human tendency is that we start making excuses that, hey, this person had it lucky, they had this working out for them, or they had this unfair advantage. Maybe they did, but what can you do about it though? Complaining won't make you better, right? When was the last time you heard a great person complain for not being better than someone else? That's not what greatness is. That's what being a coward would be, or someone who makes excuses, and that wouldn't be you, right? Well, that's what I thought about myself as well, that I don't make excuses when I was younger, when I asked myself this. But deep down, let's look at it like this. If you think that you can be a better person and you're not that person yet, that's why you want to be that way, then chances are that there's a gap between who you are and who you can be or want to be. Obviously, there's a gap and something has to fill it. And the human tendency to survive, to be happy, to get along is, you know, just find excuses to be happier, to avoid that stress. Stress is bad for you. That's what the brain thinks. And what's like the number one way to do that? Of course, excuses. And I think a lot of times we make excuses and don't even realize that what we're making is excuses, not educated guesses, yeah, statements. Because, you know, we have pride eating ourselves from the inside. Our souls, our mind is corrupting you. It's like a curse almost. You might have pride because you're somewhat there onto your journey of being great. If you wanted to complete 100% of your journey and you're 20% there, chances are that you're so prideful about being 20% there that you think you're special, you're better than everyone who's 19% there and below. That your pride is gonna hold you back. It's gonna make you think you're so special that you don't need to work as hard. I mean, hey, I think that's kinda odd, no? Because that almost sounds like you're saying that you're lucky, and you're the same person who says that other people are lucky. They're lucky that they have more free time than you. That's what you probably say. That, hey, I want to do this. I want to read a book every week, but I don't have the free time. I'm so jealous of these people who read books all the time. I mean, they have so much free time, as if they have more than 24 hours in a day or any more time than you. Maybe they're just better at managing time. Did you think of that? Because if you truly want to do something, like bring in a change in your life, I truly believe that whoever wants to bring a good change, a positive change in their life, they will make the sacrifices to do it. The fact that you're making excuses instead of filling in that gap with constructive criticism for who you want to be. That, hey, maybe you don't read books every day because you're just a lazy person. That's when your pride kicks in that, hey, shut the hell up, I'm not a lazy person at all. I do this, I do that, which is great. I mean, you get things done, but you're avoiding, your pride is letting you avoid the main argument that you're a lazy person when it comes to this. When you have this flaw, you're not dealing with the flaw. You're finding ways to, just put it aside that, hey, I'm 20% on the way. So, it's not like I'm stupid or something. It's not like I can make some silly mistakes like that. Something as silly as, I'm bad at managing my time or something. Don't put that on my head. But that is exactly what pride does to you. I mean, when I put it into terms as a third person, you see how crazy that sounds, right? Yet, when you look inside yourself, if you have the courage to look deep inside your eyes in the mirror and ask yourself, how do you intend to be great when you have no respect for greatness? When you do something special, it's a sign of greatness. When you lose, when someone else does something that you wanted to do, it's suddenly not a sign of greatness. They're just lucky. That is a sign of greatness. You just said you have no respect for it. And that is a weird paradox right there. Because what I'm hearing is you want to be something, but it's only when you do that thing that you think that is special. When someone else does that thing, suddenly they're just lucky, or it's not as special as you doing that. That's pride eating your mind right there. It's corrupting your mind right there. It's corroding your humility. And again, nothing is as noble as having humility. Nothing can be as great as humility in a human being. That is the ultimate trait to have. Nothing can bypass that. Nothing can surpass that. Because again, at the end of the day, there is a gap. And if you're listening to this far, clearly wanted to hear this or needed to hear this, that you have that gap, and deep down it eats you up every night, every morning, every passing moment, that there is a gap, and you probably had it for months or years and you want to fill it but you don't know how to. And maybe you should think of it like this, that if nothing changes, nothing changes. So if nothing changed for this long, maybe something has to change. So maybe take a deep look inside yourself and ask yourself, is pride the reason you're being held back, that you're not who you want to be? Are you truly as humble as you think you are? Are you genuinely putting in the effort to be who you want to be? Or you're just mindlessly finding excuses when there simply was time? Back to that book example, you might think you don't have 30 minutes to read a book every day, but chances are that you're just inefficient at doing one thing or another, and you have these small chunks of time throughout the day that are just being wasted. You're done with eating lunch and you're just watching YouTube for 30 minutes. That's your 30 minutes right there. Why don't you read a book instead if you want to read a book so bad? No? So it seems like there was a solution, but this whole time you've been lying to yourself that you just don't have time. Your pride's getting in the way that you're so special, that you're clearly doing your best and there's no room for improvement. But again, if there's gap between who you are and who you want to be, there has to be room for improvement, right? So how come you're not able to see it or process it? So that's just something I wanted to, I wanted people to process that thought, because I feel like this is something that a lot of people wanted to hear or needed to hear. And I hope that this was something that you felt like you needed to hear, to just that little push to get started on your journey to be a better person, to be a more humble person, a kinder person, someone that inspires instead of someone who makes people around them feel bad about themselves because of their pride. That's my 2 cents for the day, and I hope that this helped you in one way or another. And even the smallest bit, if it helped you, I'm glad it did. that's just where I'm gonna leave it at that. So you have a great day, and if it's nighttime, you have a great night, and see you soon.